All right. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we are very honored to have master architect from Malaysia, Mr. Jimmy Lim here. Thank you so much for your time. And also, Vince, who also accompanied him. Thank you for taking care of him. Uh, it is a very fortunate opportunity to discuss about Mr. Jimmy Lim's architectural practice. But before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Hanifa. I am one of the librarian at OMAH Library, and I would like to share something about OMAH Library. Can you have share screen? Udah share? Okay, next. So OMAH Library is, we can say it's a educational autonomy who try to be a place where everyone can share their thoughts about architecture, whether you are students or practitioners or academicians. We want to be this place to be a safe place for everyone, and we have done a lot of discussions, including what we have today, is already over 500 discussions that we have in our platforms, where you can check in our website, omahlibrary.org, and it covers a lot of fields in architecture. We have theory, history, architectural critics, methods, investigation, and others. And we also have books that we publish ourselves. So if you are interested in that, you can also check them out in the website. And the next, yeah, we've been going around since 2014. It's been more than a decade, and we are happy to come this far together with around 600 collaborators and also 90,000 audience in our online media. And then next, yeah, we have Jimmy Lim tonight. Uh, I would like to introduce him. Next. So, Jimmy Lim earned his architectural degree in Australia before founding his own practice, following stints at various firms. His diverse portfolio includes bungalows, schools, high rises, places of worship, and resorts, such as Menara Prudential Office Tower in Kuala Lumpur, which is the right one here, and then Laksan Sentul in the left side, and then John's Education School, Resort World Awana in Genting Highlands, and several residences like the Snyder House and the T.Y. Chu House. The Resort World Awana, and then this is T.Y. Chu House, who won the Palm House Award in 1984. Palm is like Malaysian's EAI, for your information. And then in 2020, he received the prestigious Palm Gold Medal Award, this one, for his also for his lifetime achievement and service to Pertumbuhan Arsitek Malaysia. And then additionally, Lim is the founding member of Badan Warisan, a non-governmental organization that promotes heritage conservation in Malaysia. And he continues to practice architecture and also lectures. And then this is maybe one of his known works, Salinger House, which won the Aga Khan Awards in 1980. 1988. Okay. I think no one's here was born during that time except Kak Rich maybe. We were still non-existent. And yeah, it is located in the south part of Kuala Lumpur. It's a post and beam timber structure raised on stilts to reduce its impact on the land and the environment. As such, it is built in the traditional way of the Malays, yet it's modern in a form that interprets rather than imitates Malay culture and reflects the client's Islamic faith. It has been designed with sustainable ecological principles in mind, placed on high elevation to reduce water runoff through the building during monsoon rains. It is oriented to capture the prevailing winds. And then next, these are the plans of the house. It's a very interesting shapes of triangles. The plan formed by two adjoining equilateral triangles, the larger is for indoor living, and then the other pro-like veranda. In the ground level, it has hexagonal granite core containing the entrance, small foyer, a toilet, and the stairs leading to the first floor living room, dining area, kitchen, and bedroom in the living triangle, and then to the veranda in front. The stairs continue to the second floor, dressing room, master bedroom, and study. The house was built completely by hand by traditional Malay carpenters, which is a very admiring thing to do. Next, and then the only machinery used was a small cement mixer. Except for the handmade roof house, it was constructed throughout with a very dense timber, highly resistant to water and termites. The jury of the Aga Khan Award found that the house demonstrated the high technology and energy the planting services can be renounced if sufficient craft and creativity are deployed, and that the deeper meaning of vernacular architectural tradition can be combined with the surrounding of contemporary everyday life. Yeah. And the question we need to answer today, these are the key points that we try to put out. What can we learn from his architectural practice? First, this is very interesting, even though he also works a lot in public projects. He often focuses his work on residential architecture. Houses remain a central part of his work, allowing for more exploration how architecture can respond closely to climate, everyday life, and pattern of inhabitation. And then the second one, these are some of the houses which Rich visited a few years ago in Malaysia. So these are the pictures that Rich took himself. And then next, also this is a full villa, which we gonna go more in depth today in the material. And then next. Okay, I think we're missing the second point. It is about the tropicality, how he combined a lot of materials in his work, and also touch on the vernacular architecture of Southeast Asia. And then the last one is, this is a very meaningful statement that he had made before. He suggested that Indonesia holds a strategic position as a center for Southeast Asian studies, shaped by a cultural diversity that is difficult to match within the region. That's like our biggest strength. And so, hopefully, through his reflection on architectural discourse, we may gain new ways of understanding Indonesia more deeply. So, I hope that will memantik our discussion today, and we will have courage to moderate as the moderator of the discussion. Bisa.
Kalau ini naik gitu ya Pak, ini jadi harus ngadep ke orangnya terus ya.
Boleh aplaus teman-teman?
So it's going to be like a conversation, Jimmy, like what we had several times. The point number 3, we'd like to have your. It's based on the one that 2 years ago I met you, and then 2 years ago.
Speak louder a bit.
Yes, 2 years ago I met you.
Yes.
And we had 2 days, I think, traveling to some of your work. And this kind of at the end of the day, we discuss things about Indonesia and how it strategic positions. You've been practicing for I think more than 40 to 50 years, am I right? Or 50 years. So I think it's quite a reflection that reminds me about our diversity. Maybe the discussions of today, why Jimmy is here is because of one exhibition about a Malaysian architect in Kopi Manyar. As an architect who like to exhibit, I just want to ask Jimmy with his 50 years or more experience, what is the meaning of exhibiting the work? And the thoughts and the position to the public and internal discourse. I think, can you give a reflection to it, Jimmy, as in 2026, looking at the Malaysian, Indonesian, like to exhibit the work to appearance to outside, and what do you think about it?
Thank you for invitation. I thought since I'm coming to Jakarta to is it okay?
Yes,
Is that
okay.
Okay.
Better.
I should reciprocate my visit to you. And so here we are tonight.
Thank you for coming, Jimmy. It's a pleasure to honor to
I'm very delighted to meet you and your team. Amazing team, amazing place. I think this whole concept of exhibiting work started from the days at the university. Students are all asked to hang up their work, go in front of the jury, explain to the jury why they are doing certain things. I think it's a good idea, and most of the students always impress the jury with pretty pictures. And today, a lot of the pretty pictures are not really the work of the students. They are the work and product of the software that has been created by the Western countries. And as a result, most students all become very good technicians in producing pictures, generating images. Once you have things like that, you forget that you have a computer in your mind. And that computer operates based on your intelligence. Chinese describe the computer as 电脑. 电脑 in Chinese is electric, now is brain. So when you use the computer, you're using an electric brain. And I always ask students, now is good when there is 电. What happens when there's no 电? You have the hardware that is supposed to be there now, and it cannot function. You are disadvantaged. I'm saying this because very often I've had students work with me, and after I've given them the assignment, I come back later, say a couple of hours later, and the guy is sitting there not doing anything. I said, hey kid, what are you doing? Oh, I'm waiting for the computer to start up. I said, computer start up. And in the meantime, you do something preparatory work. Can't you use your brain, your pencil, and your fingers to sketch something? You know, the strange thing is a lot of them, they give me an answer. Oh, I don't know how to do that. An architectural student will know how to use, don't know how to use a pencil and paper. I said, when you were training, studying at the university, did they get you to study? Did they get you to do thumbnail sketches? How many of you have not heard of thumbnail sketches? Put up your hands, please. All of you have heard of thumbnail sketches? Put up your hands. All who have.
Thumbnail sketches.
Thumbnail sketch.
What's a thumbnail?
Thumbnail sketch means your impression on the little thumbnail sketch. So do they do thumbnail sketches?
Yes or no?
Some of it, I think.
Now that's very important. Because those of you who are followers of Louis Kahn would know that there's one interview when Louis Kahn was asked, "Sir, how do you translate your design concept onto paper?" His reply was, "I get an image in my mind's eye." Mind your eye, man? No, your mind's eye. It's your mind's eye. Then he said, so it's when I transcend that image from my mind's eye into reality, that's how I transform my ideas into paper, onto paper. In those days, there was no computer. So never forget the basic fundamental, pencil and paper. That's your starting point. When the computer is become outdated, your pen and paper is still there, your fingers, your mind. That is very important. I don't know, have I?
Yes. Yep. And how about the need to show themselves as an identity or ego? Where is the position of it?
You see, because I ask you a question. Are you, as everyone of you telling that I'm a very good designer, I love to design. Every time you apply for a job, what's your favorite subject? Oh, design. Oh, what's your favorite subject? Design. I love to design. You love to design. What software do you use? Are you designing your design? Or are you designing what the software can design for you? Right? You can only design as well as the software can create. In the design, in the software's mind's eye. But what is in your mind's eye, that is what makes you a class above the others. Think about that.
How did you get that? I mean, from the seeing people, meeting people, or what do you usually do to expand your horizon?
I mean, we are all quite intelligent, you know. If we have to use somebody's tool, and you can only perform 100%, even if you go 150%, you're still producing 100% what that tool can give you. So are you a subservient or are you a slave of the tool? And the tool is your master. Or you want to be the master of the tool. So as long as you maintain to be a master, it's your mind. Your mind is your master. Your stroke, how you draw, that's the master. That's why when you see artists, when they go on the brush stroke, you look at the stroke, there's so much strength, there's so much dignity, there's so much beauty in the way he dipped his brush into the pen and then he produces it. That is the way your skill is. You see, a lot of things, if somebody have to teach you, you have to learn, then you might as well give it up.
Some people say that architecture is very difficult professions. What do you think about it for the young people?
I don't know. I don't know. I found that architecture was very easy. When I was in high school, or when I was schooling, my mother thought I was very stupid. Because I was always out. When the result come out of class of 40, I'm always more than half behind the class. There was one that was 38 in the class. My mother almost gave up. And she's always scolding me. Your report says that during classes your mind is not there. Your mind is walking in the moon according to your teacher. So I was wondering, how will the teacher know my mind is walking in the moon when I don't know what the moon looks like? So finally, as I do more, when I was also 15 or 16, one day suddenly I came fourth of the class. My mother was shocked. So she probably thought he's not so stupid. So she said, but I must send him overseas to be trained. So when I was 15 years old, my mother took me from Medan to Singapore, put me on the boat and said goodbye to me. So I sailed up to Sydney. You think the boat took 8 hours to reach Sydney? Like from here to Singapore, 2 hours. The flight, the boat trip from Singapore to Sydney took 12 days of sailing non-stop. So suddenly I told myself, well, I've got to climb on my own 2 feet, nobody to ask anything. So you learn.
Were you with somebody at the time?
I was me.
Alone?
Alone, yeah.
Did your mom give you like money? And money?
And then gave me this, I think it was 20 pounds. You know, and I went to boarding school. Then 4 years in boarding school, I studied architecture. And I think that's when architecture become, I discovered, this guy is talking, makes sense, I can understand what he's saying. So I became quite a good student. Then, of course, I became better when I got a girlfriend. Because once I got a girlfriend, every term I got to submit 2 projects, 2 design projects, my own and my girlfriend's. So once everybody doing design, one design, I had to do 2. So there was good practice.
So your girlfriend was a student as well, architecture.
Yeah, student architecture. So she was very smart. She got a free degree. So a lot of girls go to university to pick to a guy. He's the one. Get him to do all my work. And I was stupid. But no, I got a lot of practice, so I'm okay.
And at that time when you were alone, what did you do for your survival? Did you ever think that you were in the wrong path?
in the wrong.
Overthink. You think like that you are in the wrong path. Have you ever think about it?
No. You see, this is a Chinese DNA. Chinese instinct. Before I even go off, you sure you want to go? You're going to study. You're not going to do anything wrong. You're going to not spend money. You're going to go chase after women. Everything. So before you even start, you are going to be indoctrinated what you must not do and all that. Most important, you must not let the family down. The family name, family honor, family fortune is with you. So when you're indoctrinated there, what else are you going to do? You can't do anything but follow the path and just go right through. And hell or high water, you just look at it. But one bad thing I picked up was smoking cigar. See, every term, because you work long hours, how to keep awake, smoke cigar. So I will buy cigar and smoke it when working on the project midnight. But then the moment the commission goes in, I stop smoking. I suppose in a way that's discipline. Then next term, when the pressure starts again, the cigars come out. But then you see, also the process, maybe understood human nature, especially women. They promise you all sorts of things. I say, you got your own project here, I will. Promise you anything and all that. You wash your clothes, and iron your clothes. But then when it comes to the end of term again, you should do a project. You have to do everything. Some of you learn how to talk. Don't be stuck with it.
I just want to get back to architecture.
Architecture is a human being.
Wait a minute. In the student era, is that some of the maybe role model that you picked? Maybe some of the architect that you read or what that makes you a.
See, don't forget when I studied architecture, I think it was about the time when most of your grandfathers were also young. Who were the three great architects in those days? Le Corbusier, Mies van der Rohe, and Frank Lloyd Wright. That's all. You think you have people like Kurokawa or that's a Sultan? No. So, if you like modern steel building, high rise, you follow Mies van der Rohe. If you like modernism and all the BS, you follow Le Corbusier. If you like the environment, like the Oriental, timber, earthiness, you follow Frank Lloyd and Taliesin. So of course, naturally, I was very inclined to that. Because of that, along my design, I used timber. And in my first design project, there was the design of tea kiosks. Next to a Moreton Bay fig tree in the Sydney Botanical Garden, opposite the Sydney Opera House, under the bay. I used timber and all that, tropical, open air, because, those guys, you need to feel me. So I said, shit. Then I report you design glass, metal, flat wood, and all that. So I tried to do that for my second term. Again, I feel because I had pitch roof. So in the end, I said, well, in order to win the battle, I better play ball. So my final term project, I designed my building all flat roof. And I go, good man. And after that, I designed all flat roofs. But the moment I came back to Malaysia, I threw the flat roof away and went back to our
Why did you do that?
because it's not in my DNA. I just cannot see flat roof in this environment.
I mean, what did you do flat roof in Australia?
Sorry.
What did you do flat roof in your student
So
work?
that I get up, I might get distinction. Otherwise, I was getting F, Q.
Do you think that architecture should please people? And then should please people and other peers maybe? Do you think that architecture that you did before in the student work need to accommodate the teacher, the
Yes,
staff?
of course. That's the first thing you see. So it's like in the market, you got to follow the client. But then once the client appoints you, he cannot just get rid of you. But you got to be mindful. I was told by an Australian architect, remember students, all kinds are potential bastards. That means their client need them. But then when things go nasty, they take you to court, use your pens. So be mindful of that. So it is because of that I'm very mindful of that whenever I make presentation to clients, I don't do what they teach you in university. So what's your concept? What's your philosophy? Why did you do that? Why is it? You talk like that to your client, they look at you, what's wrong with my architect man?
Can you explain it with Paul? What did it?
Of course, when you come back after Australia, you come back to Malaysia, you talk like this. Oh, man, you man. So, what you have to do is, the client said, what you do? Oh, you remember when we were discussing the requirements, you mentioned A, B, C, right? Remember A? Oh my God, this is your A now. You look at it, oh, is it how? So you explain like that. You explain your philosophy. You explain your philosophy. Using this A as a reason for doing it. Then he listens. Oh, it's my idea. That's fine. Yeah, okay. So you get to listen to it. Right? That's it. And then you must know a little bit of feng shui. Chinese numerology. See, for example, you do a driveway, 14 feet wide. So when you present that, the client's wife, oh, in Cantonese, how wide is my driveway? Ketok check pula. So you say, oh, subsay. Any of you understand Cantonese?
No.
Subsay. Subsay means sure die. Subsay.
If you follow the measurement, you will die.
Yeah, 14 orbs. Sounds like subsay. Subsay is 4. Subsay is die.
Jadinya driveway-nya itu dia bilang kalau 14 feet wide itu artinya kalau di Cantonese artinya kayak surely die like bad
It sounds the same. Okay.
The meaning like that.
Because in Chinese 4, in Cantonese say, in Hokkien is C, in Mandarin is Si. Then the word die is also say. So say. So they don't like that, people don't like that. So when we say, oh, it's 14 feet, it doesn't sound good, subsay. You look at, hey, how can?
What did you do?
They say 6 subsay, I said, hey, in feng shui, nobody use feet, huh? They use inches. Like 14 by 12 is 168. Correct or not? Calculator. 168 is yak low fat. Yak low fat is Cantonese. Yak low fat. Yak low fat is every way success. It's 18 inches. Yeah, 40 feet. So they say, oh, yeah, low fat. So that's how you convince them. Okay.
Getting back to before convincing the client, I just want to get back to the Frank Lloyd Wright and Taliesin. Not many young people know Frank Lloyd Wright and Taliesin. What makes it so special about the architect?
What was very special is Frank Lloyd Wright was a famous Japanese architect. He was then known as Frank Lloyd Wright. So, because don't forget, for some reason, I think Frank Lloyd Wright in his previous life was an Oriental. But then he designed the Imperial Palace in Imperial Hotel in Japan, in Tokyo. And he was a gifted, very gifted person. He's more gifted than, I would say, Mies or Ko. He has a sense of sustainability and things like that. So if any of you understand permaculture, you find that a lot of the writings in permaculture actually reflects a lot of the value of Frank Lloyd Wright. So of course, when I saw his design, as an Oriental, I of course gravitate towards his design. No?
Did you see the Imperial?
Huh?
Did you see the Imperial Hotel?
It was torn down before.
Yes, and moved to Nagoya, near Nagoya.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not a favorite of Japanese people. I've gone to Taliesin West and visited Taliesin East. I've seen his work. Yeah.
Have you ever read his writing?
Yes, I've read some of his writing, and I studied quite extensively on his structural system for the falling waters. How he's anchored, and how his use of clockwise versus anti-clockwise movement. And I think that's something which I use quite a lot in my architecture, in the use of my timber detailing. Any questions?
Before we jump for the
Maybe. So
You got to speak louder.
yes. So earlier you mentioned how the young students this day are limited. Their creativity are limited by the tools they use.
What?
The
Young students today,
are limited by the tools that they use. But you're limited as well, right? To use a flat roof.
huh? It's a willful decision not to use flat roof. Because flat roof creates a lot of problems in the tropics. And you are at the mercy of your contractor. And if you know the detailing of a flat roof is 3-ply bituminous impregnated felt, plus some 3-inch of pebbles on top with more impregnated felt. No, that's all under the ultraviolet or infrared. The bitumen starts to break up and it loses its waterproofing property. No, I haven't answered your question yet.
Okay, but you use a lot of timber material and others as well, and they also have their limitation. I think this is also the tools that you use to make architecture. How do you, get to know your materials, and how do you push them to make your realize your idea?
It's challenges. The important thing is to have an open mind. Architects, too many architects are restricted by what they've been doing at uni and so forth. You see, to be good in what you are doing, you got to break through the IIC. You know what the IIC means? IIC, it's not ice cream, you know. IIC is the invisible intellectual ceiling. You know, every one of you have got an invisible intellectual ceiling. Your parents send you to kindergarten. You learn, clap hands, clap the ball, jump and oh, you're clever. You have reached the kindergarten. I see. Then you go to primary school, go to secondary school. You go to matriculation. That's your IIC. So if you go and work, that's your invisible intellectual ceiling because at your level. And if you then go to university, you graduate with a bachelor's degree, that's your IIC. So you get a PhD. Wow, after so many years of study, you finally get your PhD. Congratulations. You have now reached the level of permanent damage. That's what PhD is all about. Now, for you to go beyond PhD, you got to break through the IIC. You know? That means you don't let anybody say, you are up here. You got to break through. That's the IIC. So students tend to be stuck at that IIC. Oh, I'm a PhD from Harvard University. I come back to Singapore, I work for Singapore government. The government give me a good job at a big office and all that. So first thing they do is ask me to write the new nomenclature for custom duty. So you write the thing. Then the nomenclature, guidelines, for the custom duties in the Singapore government stays there for the next 20 years. No revision because you are still the head of the department. You will never agree to anyone who gives you a suggestion to improve. Because if you do that, then it's insult to them. So this is why a country like Singapore is now entering the level of sliding into mediocrity. You break through the IIC to come to the level of excellence, and then you start to slide along and become mediocre. I know it's something which nobody taught me that. I reasoned myself. Of course, it's wrong.
Were you in the survival mode and you become very creative and then where you have to be in the survival mode, like being left to the Australia and then coming back to Kuala Lumpur. That makes you so creative in the moment. Can you define that? Survival is one of the
survival is everything. Survival is everything. You've got to be tough. And also remember one thing. You only have one brain. You know that your brain is a sponge. you drop the sponge into water. What does the sponge do? Absorb what?
The water.
Huh? Hello. That was sleep. What does it absorb?
The water.
Water. So you pick the sponge out, you squeeze, what comes out?
The water.
Water. So you drop the sponge into pink colored syrup, you pick it up, you just squeeze out like that, pink colored syrup. But you drop it into a bucket full of BS, you pick up. What do you squeeze out?
What's BS?
BS bullshit. So very, very crucial, important, always protect your brain from falling into wrong things. I know they all wrong information. So when you're wrong information, your brain is squeezed out all wrong information comes out.
Question. When you were back in the student's time, you want to go back to Kuala Lumpur. Can you define what is bullshit in architecture?
The bullshit.
Please elaborate why you think that's a bullshit.
You know what? See, that's what people talk about. Indigenous. No,
This is like a bullshit. I did forget this, but it's very difficult.
The last time I met Doshi.
Oh, Krishna Doshi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, no, Doshi, you do great architecture. Well, why is it that every Indian architect only designs in concrete and tries to become a Goguste instead of an Indian architect?
Did you ask that?
Yeah.
What did he respond? Come on, not like that.
Is it real? It's not like that. When they say yes, they say yes. No. When I say yes, what is yes? No, but they are yes.
Please elaborate more.
Well, have you people heard of the NASA who sent the astronauts up to the space station who was stuck there for 6 months?
Yeah.
How do you know about that? Oh, very smart. Do you know the reason why they couldn't come back? Do you know that? Because there's one component inside the spacecraft that goes up there supposed to be made by titanium. Titanium, you know, metal. The same material that they use to do the what's that called? The money building.
Frank Gehry?
Frank Gehry does all this
using titanium.
So the Americans do not get titanium from China. So he said, we can make it for you, no problem. So they made the titanium parts, send it back to NASA, get put in. No. So took off, the temperature went up until it came to a certain height, the temperature, the whole planet is melt. But the spacecraft landed now. Then the Americans discovered that titanium part was not titanium but aluminum. You begin to ask yourself, who is smarter, Indian or American? So that's what they've stranded there for so long. Until Elon Musk used one of his spacecraft to bring them back. So there you are. Not like that. Indians are basically quite smart people, but they were misled by the whites. After 350 years under the rule of the British, they've lost their mind.
But some of the Indians culture has this kind of sustainability, right?
Sorry?
Indian culture, it has a long history of sustainability.
Yes.
Do you believe that?
Sorry?
Do you believe that?
Believe what?
The sustainability in the old Indian culture.
Oh, yes, they have all that. The Indians are very smart. I was telling the story earlier then. That's why he's asking me the story again. You know, in India, if you're a farmer, the moment you have a son born, you know, what he does is he goes out into his orchard or his garden, kampong, you know, and plant a jackfruit tree. And the concept is that by the time the boy is 5 years old, the jackfruit is already fruiting. So the family gets to eat jackfruit whole year round. And the Indian jackfruits are hell of big, you know, not like this kitchen like that. Some of them are 4 or 5 foot tall jackfruit. So can you imagine? So for the rest of his life until the boy turns 18 or 19 when he falls in love with another girl, you know, from the next village, they're going to get married. So the father approved, everybody approved, that they chop the last jackfruit tree for festive season. Then they chop down the tree and use the wood from the tree to build his house for him and his wife. You know, they've got this very clever sort of circuit system of doing things, which I was explaining to Rich. You know, they have that, and also they are thinking the concept of one man, one cow, sustainable farming system. Maybe one day you tell them, it will be too long a story.
They need to hear from you. We keep hearing that things. When you were back to Kuala Lumpur, did you face this kind of Le Corbusier concrete style into your practice?
No. I wash my hand off Corbusier and mix it.
But what was the trend at that time?
At that time, in Malaysia, there was no trend. In fact, I had actually applied. I'd been given permanent residence of Australia to stay on, and until then my mother kept asking me come home. You know, they wait too long. So I came back. They got me a job. Strangely enough, my first job is to design the first ever semiconductor factory production in Asia, South Asia, the Motorola semiconductor factory producing microchips. So when I came out, I thought, what's this Motorola? And I think, you know, microchip. And I had to design a factory in 6 months and get it built in another 6 months. It was fast, it was industrial. So that was my real project. Then, of course, after this one, the next project I did was the Indonesian embassy in Kuala Lumpur. I worked with your old firm here, Arsitek Bubalaras, under Architect Suyudi, and Utomo. I think they're no more. So, but I'm still here. So, and then after that, then after about 6 years with this firm, I decided to go on my own. Then in 1978, 6 years ago, I started my own practice doing residential houses and also the Penang Turf Club race course grandstand. So that was how it started.
Any questions from you guys?
Good night, sir. Hello? Hello? Night. What did you do outside architecture to explore or to understand architecture?
I kind of,
What did you do outside architecture to explore architecture?
oh, for the first 5-6 years after I came back to Kuala Lumpur is not my hometown. Penang is so Kuala Lumpur is new to me. So I used to spend all my time driving around Kuala Lumpur, inside, outside Kuala Lumpur, look at tin mines, look at rubber estates, look at rubber smokehouse, visit cemeteries, Chinese cemeteries, look at buildings and Malay cemeteries, Indian cemeteries, Indian temples, I was so fascinated because I've been away for 13 years, and everything in Malaysia was new to me. And of course, during that period, I ate and ate, I put on so much weight. My waistline used to be 38. Now I'm down to 30. So that's all I did. I did not stay in touch with anyone overseas, and I kept my windows closed. It's only after I started my own practice, 78, that I threw my windows open and see what we were doing overseas, and also in conservation. It was good to know that I was very much in sync with people thinking over there. And of course, and besides that, I was getting very involved in the Institute of Architects, because that's about the only place where I can meet a whole bunch of idiots who talk about architecture. So that was it.
By the time you mentioned that you were involved in the I don't know, heritage, heritage. Why do you think that you have interest on that kind of conservations in Malaysian architecture or heritage in Malaysian architecture?
Why?
Why do you have an interest on that?
Well, it was very simple. At that time, a lot of all these shop houses and buildings were being torn down. And then they put out this ugly looking concrete box, 4 stories. All that, and I said to myself, how can they be doing this? Then, of course, a bunch of us got together, and at one stage, they wanted to tear down the PAM building, which was we were renting from the Dewan Bandaraya as an institute. They want to sell to a developer and they want to tear down. So we protested, and a few of us got together, and that's how we formed the Badan Warisan Malaysia. So I was one of the 4 founder members. All the other 3 of them already gone out to their reward. I'm still here suffering.
And then what? If you can explain your method on the design, what will you start on? For example, like making one residential or making one building, from where will you start? Your design methodology.
Well, why? I don't know. Well, see, the thing is, when I came back, my auntie got me to design a house for her. So I thought, oh, well, this is great fun. I've got nothing to do. At the time, I was still working in the other firm. So I designed a house using natural bricks, timber, and also brick veneer construction techniques, and load bearing wall and so forth. You see, I never liked concrete per se, and so all my structures were the load bearing wall or timber frame. So I feel that was the timber. quite unique in its ways. Then one day I noticed that a bunch of young architects, in those days I'm talking about a bunch of young architects, I mean those who are about 5 or 6 years younger than me, they noticed this house and they started talking about it in pen. They published it in the Majala Architecture, all these houses, very interesting, and that created a lot of interest. So from there on, people thought that I would know a bit of timber, So after that, of course, then I got interested in timber. I remember I went on a trip to Thailand, first time ever. That was about 1986. I went to Chiang Mai and I looked at all their craft skills and what they were not using tape. Then also around the same time, I was commissioned to design a series of pasang siap masjid in timber, for the state of Pahang. So in those days, then I was speaking to the Malaysia Besar. I said, so Pahang, what sort of architectural heritage do you want? He said, actually, like, we're from Pekan, we are originally Bugis. I said, Bugis, so you're from Sulawesi. I said, well, I better go and visit Sulawesi. So I visited Sulawesi and spent about a week there. And so I look around and all that. And I think that was the first trip into Indonesia. So I think from Thailand and Indonesia, plus what I've seen about Malaysia, I started to develop interest in timber. And then of course I looked at the Chinese architecture and the way they have put bits and pieces together, the system of cantilever and counter cantilever, that I developed a system of connections. That was what prompted it. It's a series of accidents.
It's a good accident, I think.
Correct.
And then after that, you got Under Martins has won some of the Aga Khan, and you won Aga Khan for the Salinger House. Do you think that what was happening at the time in the 1980s? Then the jurors picked that as one of the winner. What was the current trend at the time, and what did you do with the house? Could you explain a bit more? Because it's like 30 years, 40 years before Under Martin won the Aga Khan. So I think we need to see a bit of context here.
Yeah. Well, actually, that was not the first project of mine that was submitted or nominated. A couple of my other houses were, and one of them was the masjid, the timber masjid from Pahang. It was submitted and it went to the last round thing. And that time, then this time, see, the client asked me. The client is a French Canadian Peace Corps volunteer who married a Malay woman, converted to Islam, and he called me to design him a weekend house in Langi. So designed the thing for him. his budget was something only 300,000 ringgit. In those days it was okay. But in those days the Chiang was only about 150 ringgit a ton. Right. So we designed the thing for him just as normally how I would design. I think I designed the concept of using a triangle, because I thought triangle is like the head of an arrow. Because when I talked to the husband and wife, the husband said, "Oh yeah, I like very much design house, not nothing modern, concrete and all that." And the wife said, "No, I want a modern design, Malaysia, get tired of it." What you do, And the wife is bigger size than the husband, so I imagine she's got beating. So anyway, I started with this concept. 2 arrowheads, one pointing right, one pointing left. You see the plane that you have there. So that's to suggest one go west, one go east. That's how they are thinking. So that's how I developed the idea. Then having established a triangular system, then the thing is how do you detail all your joints? Triangle is not easy, it's very difficult. So but anyway, we came up with a solution, we did it. You have a look at the plan, that will give you an idea. So we just designed as a normal project, detailed as a normal project, good design, good detailing and all that. And that was it. So got it built, took 6 years to build. And the carpenter who built this house for me only had a left hand, no right hand. And he's blind in his one side. You see? So one arrowhead pointing pointing two direction, one the husband direction, wife the direction opposite. It's a good concept.
What was the reflection of this concept?
Huh? What do you mean?
What do you think? Is it a good concept?
Well, I mean, I want the other kind of what is So and that's how it is. Then evolve everything in the triangulated manner, and that's it. So it was nominated, shortlisted, went in, and he won. One of some winners, and I was told by the chairman of the awards committee that the person who, the moment she saw the design, picked it as her heart, she was one to us. So on the night of the award ceremony in Grenada, I sat next to her because they said she should be. I sit next to her. We drank and got drunk that night.
With Sahari.
Yeah.
So you keep saying about the counter and then the what is the over counter of things?
Oh.
What do you mean about that? I mean, is it about the tactics?
No, when it comes to detailing.
Just to make people
Go slowly, one next one. Wait, go too fast. Oh, hey, you don't have the walian, huh? Walian. You see there? You see the beam? See the beam? I've got the roof. Just the roof just floating on it. Alright? No other support. Now what is holding the roof? It's the two vertical members that restrain it, and then the two horizontal members that lock it in place. So there's a counterbalance. That's how it is. So I use that a lot. That's one example. We go further on.
Is the beam attached to the wall? You know?
Huh?
Is the beam attached to the wall? This one is it attached to the wall? This beam attached to the wall?
No, it's hung on the column. That's on the column. And then you see up there those junctions there. See all those the connections that sits on the two beams.
That's right.
Yeah, and now how you all that. Yeah, got that. Okay, so that is what I mean. And when you go through, you see quite a lot of the same sort of detail. You see here, everything. So, see, the thing is, you must understand structures. A lot of architects don't understand structures. Not taught structures, and you're not taught construction. So you're not taught construction, you're not taught the structures. How do you design?
Did you have the structure engineer unit for this house? Who did the calculations?
There's no calculation. There's no experience. Only
How about the concrete?
the concrete, the concrete.
The structure engineer?
Yeah, structure engineer.
Foundations.
Up there, that's too creative for an engineer.
It's creative.
Yes.
Did they say something about
I
that?
tried them before. I said that.
You know what?
Like the earlier slide. Can you go back to this slide? The thing there. Jim, why don't you stick a post that? I said, Jim, if I want to stick a poster, I won't ask you. Then when I finish this, I brought him to have a look. Yeah, Australian, you know. Oh, it's true, Jim, you made it. I said, yeah, that's it.
Sorry?
He said, it's true, Jim, you made it. I said, thank you.
You're the structure engineer. But is this common at the time? This
No.
type of structure?
It's common as chicken's teeth.
Can you elaborate how did you came into this kind of idea?
Over time, I mean, you know, I cannot explain. Just I look at the issue, there's a problem, I solve a solution, then from one solution another solution, and that's how it is. I need to give a lecture with sketchboard, you know, explain. That's why I said, yeah, okay, very simple.
Well, at that time, could it be simpler or more efficient than this kind
Well,
of
let's put it this way, let me ask you. Does it look ugly?
That's certain aspect of the way or process of doing things.
No, I know it's got a consistency. But the important thing is, I always observe triangulation. When you're doing any structures, you always work on triangulation. You see over there. In fact, I got one tie beam short at the top. Where the queen thrust is, I should have a tie over there. But I want to save money for my client. Save money for my client.
Is it dangerous, Jimmy?
No, it's not dangerous. It's been staying out for 35 years.
Would you think that it's difficult to convince the client or the other architect or other engineer for doing your own things?
Sorry?
Would it be difficult for you to convince the people to follow your methods?
No, it's okay. It works. I mean, after I've done all the engineers, it works. Okay, that's good. No, a lot of engineers, they don't know as much as you do. So you must follow your gut feeling.
How about the permit and so on? How about the permit drawing sometimes?
How much what?
How about the permit? The authority permissions
Permit to alter from who?
from the maybe the government or the because there is no. How is the kind of get assurance for some of the methods.
Sorry?
Assurance.
Insurance?
Assurance.
Assurance. Oh. Well, I mean, they get engineers, it's okay. That's assurance. There's no, the local authorities, people don't even know how to calculate. You know, when I was designing the masjid, which I went to Sulawesi, Ujung Pandan, to study the Bugis architecture. When we want to design the timber structure, there's no timber engineer in Malaysia who can calculate. We had to fly in an Australian engineer from Sydney to work with me for 2 weeks to get the thing out. So somewhere along the line, I learned a few tricks. Yeah.
Any questions? Satu, which one? Yeah.
Yes.
Architecture. What happened in the first year, in the fifth year, in the 10th year, 20th year, and 30 years of your practice?
Oh.
If you could put it in the stages,
Yeah.
the struggle.
That thing that I showed that I have produced, not the other one, which I did make tomorrow, I'll bring show you. Not the ones that we discussed that time, the temple unto yourself. That inside that book, it covers 10 years of work. Right. So it was progressing all the time. See, for example, the grandstand for the turf club. I have a steel truss which housed the VIP boxes, spanning 30 meters, cantilever. So much so that we had to design the structure with a camber. You see, this is it, You want to try anything interesting, you must have some basic knowledge. Because if you don't have some basic knowledge of the structure, you're gone case. I'll show another house after that. There's a slide there. So the progress we in fact, in the book I'm going to show you tomorrow, inside the cover are the sections I've drawn of all the projects we did in the 30 years. Any questions on anything else?
Hi, I have two questions actually. So the first question is, I know you went to Australia for 13 years. Do you have any struggle going back to Malaysia after being abroad for 13 years? And the second one is, do you feel that you need a hard reset of what you learned in Australia compared to when you work in Malaysia?
You feel that you need to reset yourself when you were in Australia compared to in Malaysia.
When I went to study there, do I have to reset myself? Of course, that time I was 15 years old. When I went there, on the first day I arrived in Sydney, I told myself I want to go home. Then my mom told me, said, yeah, I heard you go home. You just showed 12 days on the ship. The ship is still in Sydney Harbour, you want to go home? Then I thought to myself, well, I'm going to go to boarding school for 4 years, university at least 5 years, allowing for 1 year, 2 years of failing, maybe 10, 11 years. I said, I'm only 15 years old. By the time I finish, I'm going to be 25 or 26. And my friend, the sense of hopelessness, you can die at the moment if you're weak. And then I remember all the things my grandmother said, my grandfather said, my mother said, all that. You can't let the family down, the family on and all that. That's when I said, well, I'm going to make it. That's the reset. That's what I said, at the end of the day, it's in your DNA. If I were Indian, I'd give up when they start to drink and do drugs and all that. Yeah. So where are we now?
So we were in this.
And you see all this, you see all the connection, they're all on the overturning moment and resisting overturning moment. And that's why I use 2 beams instead of 1 beam. So when you have 2 beams, you separately create your what you call your overturning moment. Yeah. And also it has to be quite deep so that the section modulus of the timber is there.
This is, I mean, I never seen this kind of thing. Well, is your craftsman at that time like supporting you?
No,
How did you build
no,
it?
I just give it to my contract. Hey, do it. That's it.
Can we build something like this again now?
Yeah.
I mean, in Malaysia.
Oh, today
Huh.
I have to go to Lake Toba to look for someone.
This one is 1990.
19,
Or 1980.
90,
1980. 1990. Okay.
Yeah. I
Can we
think
do
so.
something like this now?
Oh, I'm still doing things like that,
Mm.
but it's not so easy to get people.
To get people to build it.
Yeah. That's what we got to. See, that's why this house we're doing now, we have quite a lot of these junctions. Okay, next. You see, 3 stories. And also, you see, the other thing is, when you have a column going up like that, you want to be very careful with the slenderness ratio of your column. You cannot have it too high because otherwise it will snap, So that's why we have to brace it with intermediary supports. There's another view. You see, all this detailing and all that, they're kind of quite complex, but then they're all very logically done, so that there's no difficulty. See, sometimes when they have difficulty in understanding my detail, then I ask him, I say, what time do you start work? He says, no. I say, okay, Friday I come and see you at this time. He said, what for? I said, I come and teach you how to do it. I said, no, you just tell. I said, I've been telling you 5 times you can't do it. So, you want me to tell you 6 times, is it? So, I come in, I tell them now, this one you do like that, this one you put like that, this one like that, this one like that. Oh, so easy, Yeah, so easy. That's why you're so stupid, That's it. At the end of the day, you just go in and do it, show it to them. I've done all this, now I'm very tired. I get all young girls went out.
And how can you communicate to the client? What is your strategic way to communicate to the
But I
client?
don't need to communicate, you just do it.
By model or what? By
No. I never make models.
drawing
Yeah, of course, I make details.
and talking.
And talking, and go to the site and tell the client how to do it. That's very important. See, to be able to show the guy what to do and it works. That's when they
Most important part. Did you make a 3D or so on in your office?
Sorry?
Three-dimensional?
What is
Rendering? Did you make that?
In those times, there's none.
Where got such time that all those things? No.
And now,
Oh, now yeah, she doesn't.
the three-dimensional.
Yeah,
Did you make a model in the office?
3D.
The model,
Oh,
wooden
physical
model.
model.
Digital.
This one you don't have a model.
No.
How can you imagine this kind of detail?
Who can imagine? I imagine it. Because I show you all.
This is very complex.
I
It
show
looks
you,
like.
I show you all detailed drawings. You have to look at it. See, I have no idea now. I don't use any special program. It's up there. You got to break through your IIC.
What?
IIC, Invisible Intellectual Ceiling. You'll
Can
remember
you-
that.
can-
Repeat it.
Jimmy, can you give a tips to the young people? How can they break their ICC by doing what?
I'm really telling them everything along the
What
way.
IIC?
No, okay, let me tell you a story. Yeah. It's not. It's real life. It's real life. Now, the guy asked me how did I reset. When I went to Australia. When I went to Australia, I was supposed to stay with all my teachers' sisters' family for 2 weeks before we went to boarding school. So, I'm very careful. I'm so careful, I pack everything and all. But then invariably, because you're so bloody careful, you screw up. So, left the boat and all that. You won't believe it, huh? When I went to Sydney by ship, my family packed, how many bags for me? 8 bags, 8 luggage. And then relatives in Singapore gave me 4 cartons of pineapple fruit juice. When the people came to meet me at the ship, they looked at my son and said, "Holy shit! You got a lot of things." So anyway, went to his house. Then the first thing you do is they say you better refresh yourself, So open up my bag, look for my favorite towel, the green towel. Shit, can't find it. Oh, last night after the shower, I hung it behind the door in the ship. What would you do? What would you do? There's your favorite towel you left on the ship, In Sydney, you just arrived in Sydney, you've never been to Sydney before in your life. I think this is where you should get all of them to write an essay.
Why is an essay?
Because if I tell you what transpired, you will know. You see? So I start to panic. But then at the end, you think about why the hell we panic? Towel only how much ringgit? That time maybe 2 ringgit. So then my host said, I think you should go and visit the Sydney Zoo. Sydney Zoo is a very nice zoo, very big and all that, blah, blah, blah. It's in the city. Where is it? It's by the harbour. Harbour. That's where the ship stopped. So I got hold of street directory, Sydney street directory. Look at the tree. The boat went to Darling Harbour, Pier 21. Okay. I said, where am I? I'm in La Kemba. Oh shit. And then the train goes into Circular Quay. Wow. And then from here we got to catch a ferry across to the zoo. So I agreed for the son to take me to the what they call it, and that was within the first 2 days of arriving in Sydney. So after going to the zoo, came back to Circular Quay, I told the young kid, he was at that time 9 years old, I was 15. I said, let's go to the ship. Go to the ship. I said, yeah, just around the corner. Because in the map, It's just like that, So I start walking, having recognized the map. Walk up George Street, and then the Druid Street after the hill. And when you get up the hill after all 3/4 of an hour, you're tired, like hot, and you can see the ship idea. Oh, happiness! Charge down to the ship. Go through security, you're going up to the ship to collect something. Or charge in my room. That will be room 210. Oh, happiness, open the cabin. No towel at the back of the door. What do you do? Nothing. That's when you're totally disappointed. That's when your own ignorance and your stupidity comes in. It never crossed my mind I can go to a lost and found office. Chances are you'll be there. Because in those days, people were very honest. So, after that, both young Chris and I, we left the boat and walked back to Lakemba. Now, for a 15-year-old kid, second day in Sydney, to embark on that, do you think that was an adventure? Stupidity, or is it foolhardy? Had I gone to the lost and found, they have it there. Mission accomplished, succeeded. Like Obama said, when Laden was shot, we killed him. So you failed. So do you consider it as a failure? Or is that lesson in determination, sheer grit, and execution? Okay.
Okay. Ada pertanyaan lagi?
Okay, my question is because the education world, mainly the universities have changed a lot, especially in Indonesia. Do you have an advice for the undergraduate or bachelor's student that have graduated? Should they take the profession or master's degree? And the second is, what are your thoughts about the future architecture from here and now on? Because for the past 5 to 10 years ago, many architectures, especially the high-rise, uses concrete and structure. Will the timber structure in Asia could fight the force against the earthquake movements in earthquake-prone countries? Thank you.
The first one.
Yeah, first one.
About the undergraduate that advice to the undergraduate. Because apa tadi ini course-nya?
Should they go through the profession?
Yeah, or getting a master degree. Oh, because it's like two different paths, right? Master and then work.
That is very controversial. In the old days, people like Frank Lloyd Wright never went to school. He studied architecture, he trained to be a draftsman in a Frank Sullivan's office. Then later on, he became an architect. Now, what they used to do in the West, they have a registration board. The registration board would have a board exam every year for people who want to be architect. And after they sit for exam, they pass with high grades, they become the architect. They're low grade, they become draftsmen. So then Otto Gropius came about, introduced what school is it?
Black Mountain College.
Huh?
Black Mountain College.
No lah. Gropius was what's
The Yale.
Huh?
The Yale.
No,
House?
Bauhaus.
okay.
I started Bauhaus. Then from Bauhaus, then the British came along, the AA, and all that, and then they started formalized education. See, like in Sydney, in Australia, formal architectural education did not come into being until the 1950s. 1950s. By the time I started architecture in 1964, that's only about 15 years after 1950. And since then, architecture. Now, I would say that up to the time when I was studying architecture, we really studied architecture knowing what it's all about, and not just crap, draw pretty pictures and all that. And I would say from 1980s onwards, architecture has become the nonsensical education system in the West. They start talking about all sorts of things and all that, and no emphasis is placed on construction, structures, and things like that. And what does the school say? Oh, we are not here to train office follower. Let them know all the philosophies, the theories of architecture. Go into the office and let office train them. Now, if that's been the philosophy for so long, your question is, after you got your first degree, why continue on for more? Right? You already got a basic, why learn? Okay. That's my answer. Second question.
Second, tadi berarti tentang
Second is, what are your thoughts about the future of architecture? Because nowadays the buildings, especially the high-rise one, are made using concrete and steel. There are some like timber structures, but they're not in Asia and they're still being developed and not standardized yet. Do you think like the timber structures for especially high-rise building could withstand in Asia and fight back the earthquake forces?
I'm not sure whether I got the answer. Okay.
high-rise timber versus the concrete structure. It's like concrete, right?
Yeah.
He's asking about the future of the a timber structure.
Well, this comes down to the level of your IIC. Right? If you go to Minnesota, they have a lot of these old warehouses that are 9 stories high, using pine wood columns. They build them out in wood, and all the floors are wood. In fact, a lot of the buildings, like in New York, certain parts of Spring Street, where they used to have tobacco warehouses are. There's this famous American Dutch architect, Winker Double-Dum. You know the one?
No,
The office is in one of these. They're all in timber. And so there's no harm in that. It's just that at the end of the day, it's all the big businesses, like the pharmaceutical people, the COVID-19, the bullshit. So many people died. So, but if you can use timber, why not? I would be very interested to build timber. If a client comes to me, give them a 9-story building, 10-story. The future is up to us.
Okay. Jimmy, have you done any structure by bamboo? Bamboo. Have you done any structure by
I
bamboo?
designed, when I was doing work in
Just
Burma,
wonder.
I used to design some, but it never took off. Because at the end of the day, you see, the thing with timber, with bamboo, is to have proper connectors. Right? Actually, bamboo is quite easy to do. Quite easy. It depends on the technique. If you use bamboo as you would in an arcuated structural system, then it's easy. Then if you use bamboo as a tabulated system, then it becomes difficult. You see, in the arcuator, you only have to bend them all the time and tie them together. Whilst with the tabulated, you have to cut them into sections and hold them together.
Ken, let's go.
50 years of your practice, when did it all start? I mean, why do you choose architecture as your method of creativity?
Why you choose architecture
Oh, why?
and not quit after 50 years?
Oh,
Are you still fighting?
yeah, of course.
So why? He asks.
Why? You don't fight your whole life for what's there to achieve. Every point in your life, you must have 5 points. You see, like, I analyze, although I don't talk to people, I don't in architecture for law or talk or this, that, it's all talk. All talk. You look at yourself, you look at your own life, you segment up your own life, analyze you people are still young. But in another 10, 15 years, you are 30, that's when you can formulate. I formulated my life comes in 15 years cycle. 15 years, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105. Okay? So, you find very distinct in each section of your life. Certain things happen. It's preordained. It's preordained you can do something yourself. And then anymore you can't. So that's the thing. But whatever it is, you got to strive. If you don't strive, you don't achieve.
Do you ever feel down on something, Jimmy?
Right?
Feeling down or something? Have you ever feel
If I ever hear
crisis?
my crisis, nothing that has seriously impaired my lifestyle. Actually. No. Oh, well, I suppose you could say my office got burned down. My whole office was burned when I was in Africa, Zanzibar. And guess what date it was burned down on? 4th of April, 2004. So what is it?
What's that?
The date.
4th of April 2004, so it's 444.
0404.
Yeah.
Say, yeah. Die. Yeah.
What did you feel at that time?
Well, I was in Zanzibar. I said, well, it's already burnt. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, I got the news. It's already 2 o'clock back in Kuala Lumpur. The buildings were burned down. I want to see whether my diamond ring can be found or not, you see. I had a 3.2 carat diamond ring in my office. Luckily we found it. Okay, so after thinking about it the whole day, then as the sun was setting behind Mount Kilimanjaro, I've been asking the whole day why. The answer I got back at that morning sunset. You can see the sea of Zanzibar, orange color, nice. The sunset, the reply said, why not you? I said, why me? I said, why not you? True. There have been so many people who lost their houses because this. Who's there to help them? Nobody. I read it on the newspaper. So now it's happening to me. Who's going to solve it for you? I called up my office the next day. I told my PA, please go to the temple to Tadah to fill oil, to give thanks. Everybody's safe. Go to the church when they say Hail Mary and give thanks. And when I came back, I said, we all move forward, we don't look back. And everything burned, store has been burned, and I'm going to reproduce another drawing to replace that. There's no point. So there were stacks and stacks of burned drawings, and everyone come and have a look on them. So that's it. Move on.
Was it because of the timber building?
No, it's because of stupidity on the part of my PA and my sister, who was an insurance agent. It's a timber building, but apparently in the application they say concrete. I lost 2 million ringgit in the whole place. That was 22 years ago.
Will it get burned if it's done by concrete?
I said insurance, that's why I never trust insurance people.
So how after you get down, after you go to the slides, how can you recover from the loss? Are you still recovering from that loss?
There's nothing to recover. There's history. Move on. New projects, new life.
It's like the story of your towel.
Huh?
It's like the story of your towel when you left it in the back of the door.
Why?
Towel.
Towel.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see, this roof truss is all in steel. Maybe the next slide, please. You see, this end, when it comes down, because of its weight, it would sag. So when you have a thing like that, towards the end you see sag down. Visually, it's very bad for your eye. And when looking at that, you say, oh my goodness, the designer is terrible. And engineers forget about it. So I had to tell them, please, in the design, provide for a camber of 2 feet. So they provided on all the sides for a 2-foot camber. So they designed upright. So when it came down, can you see other side? Well, this is the front entrance, you know. The steel truss is very lightweight. This is the ceiling over the dining table, the dining room. That's looking through the void into the kitchen, and this is the entrance lobby. This is upstairs, family area. This is looking at the living room ceiling space. And all these members, they're all steel, they're not timber. They look like timber. See, that's circular thing on top is the art studio.
How did you convince the client, Jimmy?
Hmm?
Did they just surrender to you? How do you convince the client?
I talk to them every stage of the way.
I mean, one by one, like
Yeah, I
for
explain this, explain that.
in the office or in the while you have a dinner or.
I meet up with them. He was at that time president of us NUS, the University of Singapore.
So it's quite intellectual in a way.
Yeah,
He's
an artist. He's an artist. So like now that they move in, he says to me, you know something, we came to you with just a house, but what you've given us is an art piece. See, every day we're discovering something new about the house. Is amazing. There's never a dull moment. So for me, I take it as a compliment.
So did you select your client, Jimmy?
Hmm?
Did you select your client?
No, like they select me. If I select them, be problem.
And how can you have this kind of a clientele circle?
Well, see, in this case, he was recommended to me by the School of Architecture, NUS. So the professor recommended me, became his good friend. So you see, all these are steel, and we try and make them look decorative. This is the new house that's coming up. See, this dining room is going to be in the middle of the house. See, and you know, we go on field trips to look for materials to create the finishes. Here we are at a timber place to look for to create a concrete pattern. So there's Agnes now.
This is when I saw the house with the lattice. The lattice that's connected to another.
See, it's a very simple detail.
They repeat it.
They're just connecting the whole thing. It creates an interesting modulation. The next slide, please. Here you see it.
Did you make this drawing? Did you make the drawing?
No, I made the drawing, but they didn't ask. I had to go there and teach them. I showed them one piece. That's why he said, "Oh, so easy." I said, "Yeah, hope you use your brains." No, I was very tough. I used to scold people a lot, the contractor. I used to tell them, "Don't tell you you're stupid, your mother won't." Yes. You look at all this thing. See, you try and make your structure to have patterns, you know, and all that. Yeah, this is on the cantilever, you know. See, so the awning inside becomes a pelmet inside. See that now? This is a very interesting detail. You see, this is where your knowledge of structure is important. I've used a brickwork as a column, and I've also used a brick cobbling to support the beams. See, this one single detail embodies an awning roof, a gallery walkway, and also structural component, all in one detail. Right? To me, that to me is great self-detailing.
Is it become an obsession of detailing?
Well, detailing is an obsession. If you enjoy it and when you solve it, you know you solve it and it's going to look good. That's all it's about, isn't it?
Have you done any mistakes on the detailing, Jimmy?
Well, if there are mistakes, they are not up there. They won't be built.
So it's very important to guide the craftsmen and the builders.
on site.
Now, as a rule, I do not use quantity surveyors.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why? It used to be like a control the budget, right? And the schedule and so on.
No, the quantity surveyors, they are like politicians. They tell lies all the time. And they cannot describe things properly. They don't understand construction. So they simply follow, We rather draw up everything, no BQs. So we give the stack of drawings to the contractors, follow everything there. So the contractors does his own pricing based on the measurement. If he make mistake, it's his mistake. That's it.
Have they ever done like a miscalculations of things according to the budget of the design, budget of the building?
Oh, yeah.
This is happening quite often.
No, not often. I mean, you pick this up now. You see, because when they submit the thing, you go through. You can tell who is making a mistake. There was once I was doing a horse stables, and the contractor's price came in so cheap, So keep going through him and say no. From what I asked, I think he must have made a big mistake in the number of bricks. He insisted on doing. So he took on the project, then started. Then when he started the project, he discovered that they calculated a mistake. Then they wanted client to give compensation. Client said cannot. So he resigned. He lost money.
So what do you respond about it?
Huh?
What do you respond about it?
My response.
When there is no BOQ, there is no control, and people do.
No, he made a mistake himself. You make your mistake yourself. You go ahead with it. But when you, the worst part is when you're QS, he makes mistake. You have to carry his mistake because he's very clever. He covered himself. Right. And they are the ones who go and tell the client, oh, your architect like that.
So how did you make the client trust you, even with no QS?
Sorry?
How did you make the client trust you even without any QS, like the budget controlling?
Well, I think if the client is going to give you the project and you're going to work right through until tender stage with all your drawings, detail, everything.
Okay, I see.
I mean, the client.
So with the drawing,
has to trust you.
Okay, am I right that you submit the drawing and let contractor just give an estimation cost?
Yeah, based on the drawings.
Yeah, okay, based on the drawing, so not based on the items, yeah. Okay.
Anymore, I think there's order.
No, I think there's order.
Yeah, I see like this is
expanding with coupling,
and then you see
the detail how I
lock the beams together so that they become bracer for the vertical.
It's like a Chinese temple, Jimmy.
There you are.
It's like a vernacular building that you studied before. It shows your research. And how long did you draw this, Jimmy?
Huh?
How long did you draw, you and your team, for one project like this? How long did you draw it?
This one I never drew.
The detailing.
I want the sign and sketch for the contractor.
I mean for the tender, for example, one
Oh
house.
no, this is my own house.
Oh, your own house. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, that's why I understand.
This one R&D.
I see. So for the normal house, for the normal house, like
How you draw it up?
how long did you take for drawing the detail?
Well, I think a simple shop for about 2 months.
2 months.
Detail.
Okay.
And this is my R&D.
Or your house, yeah.
Yeah, I see the space I go all the way up.
Can this time for the repetitions? Any question? Yes. Do you find it's very important to experiment in your own house?
Yeah, you put your money where your foot is.
You don't feel like you're wasting money with Jimmy? Why?
You know, in the early days when I first presented ideas to the clients I say, hey, has this idea been done anywhere before? So of course, a young fellow say, no, never been done before. This is the first time new idea I'm giving to you. New idea. Hey, don't do something I'm the scapegoat. Okay, show me something that has been done. Then you say, but you employ me as a designer to design you something creative. Now you're saying you don't want anything creative. Say, no, but mistakes are, that's all. So after a while, I decide I just do it myself. The insects come and have to show it to them, and they say, oh, it's like that. So they've seen something.
Ada pertanyaan guys? Yep, next ya.
How do you learn about timber when no one else can count the engineering about timber?
How to? Well, first of all, I learned about timber when in school in New South Wales. In Sydney, New South Wales, they have an ordinance in building timber houses. That was called Ordinance 71, meaning 1971 it was prepared. So inside there is specified how it should go about, what the sizes and how you connect everything. So that's where I learned the basic. Then after that you improvise.
Gradually. Jimmy, I'm curious. What is this? You're going up and going down again?
Why?
I'm just curious. What is this? Like that, going up again, going down again.
You know, it's like the Hokkien saying,
What's that?
You know what doesn't matter.
Pin.
You see, of course, I want to get to that level. That level is 5 feet higher than this side. Okay? So, then when I remove the awning roof that's projecting out, I've got that ridge member sticking out as a structural support. So I said, well, if I were to use the ridge as a support here, then I have a solution. So I take advantage of a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta use that philosophy, taking advantage of a disadvantage.
Okay.
And of course, when you get up to that point, because of the beam, you have to lower down to cross over. These are all different angles now. You see, everything is triangulation. Triangle.
Do you make it by contractor or you have the direct craftsman work with you? In this one?
The contractor work for me. He comes every day for 15 years.
How is your relation with the contractor or the builder or contractor?
No, this is just one guy.
Oh, one guy only.
Yeah, one
building
guy.
all of this.
He's a carpenter. He's a bricklayer. He's a painter. He's everything. So when he needs extra people, he just get a couple of workers. And then when he get the workers to come, within 2 days he sacked the guy. Because he's very bad tempered.
Is he still coming until now?
No, I think he's died already.
Are you still doing something like this in your home?
Are we?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Can you explain how you're gonna do it today? Other than before. Can you give an elaboration here? Because it's very difficult to understand this. But it's a very complex way of.
You can speak in Indonesian
Ayo Vin,
Disorder. Apa?
perkenalkan diri aja.
Karena sekarang kita ada buat renovasi di office kita, which is next house from this R&D house. So right now we're on our renovation workshop office, and we did the roof for the car wash. So right now we're experimenting with the joinery and how, according to the site actually, it's according to the environment how we do things. So yeah, we're still experimenting. We're putting decks and roof over the car wash and over the sides because the office is on the surrounded by the hill. Like there's a slope, so we built a stone wall over the perimeter of the house. Yeah, and then we're still in the progress of renovation. Still in the development progress. Yeah.
You've been working for Jimmy for how many months? I'm building to
6 months.
6 months already.
Yeah.
Okay. Any question, guys? Ya, silakan. Ini bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa nanti kadis lah.
Jadi tadi kan terkait belajar terkait kayu, pertama basicnya itu dari ketika kuliah, ketika basic dasarnya dia diajarin cara bikin rumah dari kayu terus dikembangin sendiri. Apakah di proses belajar itu ada semacam eksperimen, dan apakah eksperimen secara by kayu itu sendiri, jadi eksperimen dari kayunya langsung, apakah pernah melakukan hal semacam itu, dan apakah itu berpengaruh, apakah dan sepenting apa persentasenya dalam pemahaman terkait struktur kayu?
When you were a student, you were working on a small experiment, right? On a timber. What's that? Is it? Will it be so impactful until this moment? Like 50 years after this? When you were in the student, did you make the timber experiment like this?
No.
Literally.
I don't like making models. I'm not good at making models.
Oh, drawing. Oh, inside the
draw I'm okay, but not to put things together.
So how can you into this stage? From when?
From sketching, sketching 3D. Very fast. If I want view from this way, I sketch it. So I want view that way. I'm very fast in sketching.
Are you still doing that? Are you still doing that until now?
Yeah.
With Finn? Yeah, Finn.
Yeah.
Okay. Justified lah.
Mungkin pertanyaan lanjutan. Kan Kak Jimmy tadi sempat dengar kalau terkait struktur itu don't do calculation and don't make experiment. Apakah mungkin pertanyaan aja, apakah Mas Jimmy Pak Jimmy very sangat yakin dengan imajinasinya sehingga tidak perlu eksperimen, tidak perlu menghitung apa semacam itu. Apakah seyakin itu? Bagaimana cara memiliki imajinasi yang sangat yakin gitu, sangat yakin?
Why you are so certain when nobody can calculate your architecture, your structure?
What?
How you can be so sure when he said that you think that the structure cannot calculate your building? How can you be so sure?
Well, I cannot be sure, but it'd be more welcome to if you can. I have no problem there. My family members they are a bit old-fashioned. My wife and all, they say, "Hey, you mustn't teach your staff all the tricks, I said, why? They say, they learn your tricks, they become better than you. I said, good heavens. By the time I can depart my knowledge, I'm already 25 years ahead of them. So let them catch up. So that's all it is. So far today, I don't think anyone is caught up with me. Even like you mentioned Lok Wee. Okay? He worked for me for 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
But the work he produces is nowhere near mine. The subtlety is there's a different people's perception of the IIC. So never worry to share.
Sudah lagi udah? Ini, ting.
So have you ever been angered by something, Jimmy?
Sorry, you are angered.
With
Oh.
something. Have you ever, in terms of architecture,
Huh?
and what kind of moment is that?
You feel angry,
Yeah.
when people tell lies.
How can you predict people tell lies?
Huh?
How you can tell that people tell lies?
See, just that the owner of the Salinger House, when we went to Granada to get the award, he wrote a letter to the Aga Khan Foundation to say that the whole prize money should have all gone to him because he designed the house, he got the house built. It was his money that was used to build the house. Right? All this came about because one day he somehow found out that of the prize money, the contractor, the carpenter, was getting 30% of the prize money and he was getting 20% and the architect 50%. So he was very angry. Alright, so and he started telling lies and he started writing a book that told all the lies and that sort of thing. So, it's not like, see, very important, as architect, you've got to be very, very clear. Is it white or black? You cannot be saying, oh, it's a white now, but it's got a bit of grey in it, or it's black, but it's got a bit of white in it. You can't. See, just now I was talking to one architect. He introduced me to two of your Indonesian architects. He said Jimmy Lim, he's the one that won the Salinger. He won the Aga Khan Award with Salinger's house. And after his laugh, he said, but he's not happy with it. I said, why do you say I'm not happy? He said, you say you're not happy with it. I said, no, I never said I'm not happy with it. So that's when he saw it suddenly. I said, I'm not happy about the greed and the lies and the hypocrisy that has been thrown at this project. But I'm not unhappy about the project. They say, oh, I see. I say, you must not misunderstand. I don't know. When you write letter to a contractor to tell them that they may use some subcontractors or award a contract someone, do you write to say you shall award the contract to so and so, or do you say you may award the contract? What term? Without thinking, you say shall. I say, you're wrong. You cannot use the word shall. The moment you use the word shall, you are responsible. You are giving a directive. You shall give the contract to him. Anything goes wrong, the client goes, why did you give it to him? I never gave it. You told me, yeah, but you said you shall. You see, this is be very, very careful on the terminology you use. Never always say you are the or this, you may. You just say you may, you might have, perhaps. I said when you say you may, that means I'm giving you a choice. You may not give or you may give. So you've got to be smart, True.
So how you recover when after people tell lies to you?
Sorry?
How did you recover after you got angry and people tell lies to you?
You ever go to the toilet after a stomachache? What do? You flush it. That's it.
Did they give you bad memories?
Huh?
Did they give you bad memories?
give memories.
Yeah. Made you grateful.
After you flush the damn thing. What is the thing? I wonder where my is going down. No, you don't. Life is like that. You must be very honest with life, and that's it.
Anything? Question? Before we kind of end this one as a summary. Okay.
Mr. Jimmy, you said that in your early life, your main motivation was not disappoint your family. But now, after 50 years in practice, what is your motivation that keeps you going?
What's my motivation? My motivation is just do the right thing. Never. You see, my father always said, son, don't ever do anything to anybody you won't like them to do unto you. Simple as that. That's it. That's all. It's the life. My father was captured by the Japanese in the war. He was in prison when I was born. Can you imagine how much trauma I would have sustained as a fetus in my mother's stomach? You think if your father was captured by Japanese, all they do is bloody behead everybody. You think your mother say, oh, it's okay, it's alright, it's okay, it's alright. Wait for him to come back.
Wait for him to come back.
Is that what it's going to be?
Is that what it's going to be?
My mother was crying every day. Banging her head against the wall. That's what life was all about. I was very lucky. After I was born, my father was released alive. That's it.
Just curious if your father still can hear you, but in your 50 years of practice, what is your reflection back to him?
Well, my father died not so long ago, about 20 years ago. So by that time, I've already done quite well, Any more questions?
Garis terakhir ya. Ada yang mulai? Pertanyaan lagi?
Can you give us 3 advice before it's closing?
Advice to the young. 3. They asked 3 advice. Melissa, on behalf of the young people.
Yeah.
Oh, she asked what?
Advice of life.
That's the way that they want to drive their way to the architecture as a profession. Maybe.
Advice for life.
Yes, for architecture life.
Oh, architectural life.
Or maybe other life is okay. I mean, advice from Jimmy.
Yeah.
As a person.
No, I think always have a
fresh mind.
Look at things with a fresh eye. Never say die. Always strive for something new. That's it. Hey, so actually coming back now, yesterday I asked you a question, about using material. Maybe if tomorrow we can have a short dialogue with some of your designers. I'd like to share some ideas, get some feedback from the young people.
About the Chinese temple?
Yeah. So maybe you can brief them.
Tomorrow we shall.
Finn, is it happening quite often? Jimmy asking for audience with the young people.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's that?
Asking
Yeah.
inspirations.
Don't I ask questions? Yeah, of course I do.
Mm.
It's very important.
You're still asking questions, Jimmy, even though you're
So
not young anymore.
Huh?
You're still asking a question even though you're not young anymore.
Oh,
How important is asking questions?
yes.
Yes, how you feel that is very important in the design process? How do you find it's important in the design process?
Oh, look at things from different eyes, you see. You cannot always look at things from one eye alone. But don't listen to bullshit. Use your own mind to rationalize. Yeah. And make thumbnail sketches.
We kind of understand what person you are now after hearing the same thing, and we kind of understand. Driven by the hand and the mind and the soul, it's become architecture.
You have to. You know, the only thing which I like what Corbusier said 90 years ago, say going into the architectural profession is like entering a monastery. You give up everything about life and become monastic.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, that's all he said.
What type of monastery, Jimmy?
Monastery.
Those are the young people. They cannot understand that this is like a temple. No, architecture. It's just like a
monastery.
business.
You know what's a monastery?
Yeah.
You have to be a monk. So what is it that about a monk that you don't do? See, the Catholic faith, you got to be abstinent from poverty, charity, and chastity.
And architecture?
You see, architecture is like that. Something like that. It embodies all these three ingredients.
What's that?
Well, I just told you. She knows what I'm talking about. Charity, poverty, and chastity.
Humanity?
Oh, no. But architecture is all about people. What are people about? People are about life. What is life about? Life is about living, enjoying everything that we have around, man-made, natural environment. And what is all this about? It's all about enjoyment. Enjoyment means happiness. So it has to follow. At the end of the day, architecture is about happiness, making people happy. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy, in your 50 years of practice now, is that something that you have something that you fear of? Fear of?
Fear of?
Fear of.
Fear of?
Fear.
Fear.
After 50 years of practice in architecture.
Meeting another girlfriend in architecture. Makes sense.
I think you guys can interpret more. This is very unpredictable. Like life goes in cycle I think in Jimmy's mind. Okay, can I just conclude, Jimmy, after we can close the sessions?
Wonderful session.
I try my best to conclude the sessions. Yeah. I think meeting Jimmy is never been easy as a person to understand this complexity of life, the growing architecture, I think, and full of story, despair, sometimes darkness, and sometimes laughter, and you kind of feel it like a very easy, but I believe that the life is very not easy. Dilemma, trauma, anger, frustrations, and this wonderful transformations of architecture. I think we can see you are always evolving until you have the team here as Indonesians. It's like an open mind and like a cross boundaries of time, and brings back a lot of memories about the Sulawesi and a lot of vernacular buildings. And during my encounter with Jimmy, like yesterday, he asked me about the Chinese temple because he had just a project of getting an assignment to design a Chinese temple. And I think we had so much discussion about the essence and abstractions of Chinese temple. And then he kept asking questions about abstractions actually. And then the beauty of the aesthetic of what is Chinese temple, and keep asking a question about it. And I think giving now, I think the method of Jimmy is always kind of evolving, but it's had the roots of one to another that's giving repetitions. And I think this is just a powerful, and we call it the R&D house. It's become your library of thoughts, variation of thoughts, grammatics of your body of work, Jimmy. I think the truly of body of work of Jimmy Lim is the way that we can have a dialogue like this, with the no bullshitting, with the full of joy, full of life, and you feel happy about it, and you can smile. And then we can see I'm really excited, and if you guys can go to Kuala Lumpur or in Kuala Lumpur or in Penang, in KL, you can
come anytime.
Have a visit, both all of you, and looking at this growing and already you can see a lot of body of work and years of the training. Even though it's burnt, Jimmy, but I never believed that it's really burnt. It's like a big...
No, not this one. This wasn't burnt.
Yes. Oh, this was burnt.
No, it's my office, but I rebuilt it.
Oh, you rebuilt it into something.
Which is now the art gallery.
Oh, art gallery. So I think you never stop. That's what I admire. And through the dilemma, through the mistrust, through the miscommunication, I think that's the people. Looking forward to meet you again, Jimmy. It's not the end. We're gonna have another sessions with you until the time runs out.
Well, thank you for your hospitality, and it was very great meeting you. And, nice to meet your team of dynamic people. And I'm looking forward to visiting the rest of your building. I visited that dungeon now.
We're being very privileged. Being very privileged. It's just very coincidental that we can meet.
Yes, wonderful. We must meet more often.
Cannot wait more.
No, I think it's very important that you are training professionals to be professionals in the professional sense, not in the theoretical bullshit. I mean, there are a lot of it. It's so much. All the schools are producing all this airy-fairy crappy stuff. I was one of the jury members of the PAM 2026 Architectural Award this year. And I had a hard time convincing the other jury, on the marking system. At the end of the day, the bulk of them, the mentality is such They just look at the superficial things and not at the real content. Whilst I evaluated all my assessment on intellectual content, today the convener, or was it yesterday? She said, came to me and said, "You are over generous in some of the scheme." I said, "No, I'm not. It's just because I evaluated them on certain specific value system." See, yesterday arriving at your old airport, I was explaining to Vince. I said, "I like this airport. There's so much identity here, and this airport has got a good sense of scale for people, the proportions and what have you." I said, "You go to this international airport, Beijing airport, all this Shanghai airport, KLIA, they just have Singapore airport. They just lack the human scale. At least Singapore airport, there is a certain amount of human scale, because Singapore government very cheapskate, and they knew all this mega structure. India, every Indian cities now got this huge mega, but all badly designed, and they're really terrible. You see, like your airport and the Bangkok airport, the old Dongguan airport, very nice airport. You go inside there, I've arrived in Bangkok. I've arrived in Jakarta. A lot of the airports you arrive, you don't know where the hell you are in the world, because they're all designed by the same bunch of circus clowns. Because they still can reproduce all the same thing. So this is where we must be very careful, mindful of our work. And this generation, your generation, is going to be not Europe, not America. So don't waste time looking there. Your focus is look at your own culture, your own environment, your own home. Then you may look at what's happening around Asia. Asia is the most dynamic. Don't look at Australia. Australia will be the white shit of Asia. It is true. They've got no clue what they are. I mean, how can someone like Australia to be stuck in Asia and still think that they are in Europe? And they talk like they are in Europe, So really, it is very serious. And this is where people say the buck stops now. That's why it's great that Richard, real rich, is doing what he's doing. Is bucking the trend. And the only reason why I came to support this young group of people is because on a personal level. They came to see me as a senior, right? And I said, I'll support you people. I think you are doing a good job. The start. Keep going. In 5 years' time, you should be doing certain things. If they follow like that, then they're right. Then they're okay.
Jimmy, I have one reflection for you. The Malaysia has a datum, right?
The what?
Datum. Datum. And we have our own venue as well, like a datum. And there are like a public. And can you give a message to maybe the young people that will become the Indonesian Institute of Architect committee and everything? Do you have any reflection of how the future of Indonesian profession? If your experience like 50 years.
I think your
just reflections.
I don't know much about it. See, I used to know the old members, Well, I suppose you are, in a way, almost the same as what we are in Malaysia and Singapore. But one good thing, culturally, ritualistically, speaking, you have real diversity in your cultural group. You have Indonesian who are Muslims and also who are also Christians. Malaysia, we have a problem where all Malays have to be Muslim, whether you like it or you don't. So that weakens the whole system. So therefore, nowadays, a lot of the Muslim architects dare not speak up. You see, for example, we used to have a lot of this very interesting traditional dances in Kelantan, the Mat Yong and things like that. But it's banned by the Islamic Party. Right? So, things like that. So that can only weaken the society. Whilst in your case, I think you have got a nice cultural mix. And if you just focus in pushing forward in dynamism, protecting the national identity in terms of true culture, then I think you could become the most powerful movement in the Southeast Asia. That's what I was telling you. You should get a book that meets every so often. Forget about datum, the equivalent datum. They are only money making, right? You're going to start something that gets the people, serious people who are not only just thinkers, but thinkers as well as entrepreneurs. We must have this both together. And architecture is business and commercial and artistic.
Thank you. We shall have. Very grateful to welcome Jimmy Lim in OMAH Library. And after this, we shall have a testimonial in a white paper to see some of the testimonial for this kind of sharing by Jimmy. The session will be recorded, Jimmy, and is recorded and will be posted in the YouTube. Usually we have a channel in OMAH Library, yeah. And it's gonna be a sweet memories us with you. A lot of laughter, a lot of the unpredictable words has become a genuinity. We love it, and we're gonna send you some of the recording later as a precious memory.
Yeah. No, start this, every 2 years of dialogue among small group first, How do you sort of protect the cultural art form of architecture and yet preserve the integrity of professionalism?
Yeah. Now we have been doing a collaboration with the Indonesian Vernacular Network, Jimmy. It's been discussing for more than almost 40 events for the studying all of the vernacular inside Indonesia. So it's a well documented in the YouTube. So it's a well thought research by the academia. So I think we are gathering some of the network to the academia. And it's well open and it could be used in Malaysia as well. So I think we kind of have to do that. And some of the point we made a book about it. And I mean we dream that some of the conversation, such as with you as well, I mean it can be recorded to the books. Yeah. So this is one of the example this one, the Guru Zina, like Mamasa, like Arsitek Radang is a vernacular architecture. That we are having a record documentation about it. It's ongoing now. But discourse with you with kind of knowing a Malaysian architecture better is always very beneficial. Yeah. And there is a exhibition about the Malaysian architecture in Kopi Manyal. Yeah. Some of you can I give you some of the feeds and Jimmy contact later on if they want to get in touch with you, Jimmy. Some of the people here, young people. Okay, so we give applause to Jimmy. Come here.
Okay, a very lovely discussion with Mr. Jimmy and also Kak Rich. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think it's very late. It's already 10 p.m. Yeah, and yeah, thank you so much for staying up till this time. He still need to take, I guess, like about 40 minutes drive to his hotel, and so we're gonna wrap this up right away. Maybe a bit information about our next agenda. So today we have Jimmy Lim, and then next Tuesday we will have Pak Riri Yaakob from Atelier Riri to present here, offline and online session. And then in the 7th we will have Pak Rudi Utomo. He is also in the Arsitektur Mumpuni session, which cover architects above 60 years old. Yeah. And then on the 15th, we will have a discussion about vernacular and traditional architecture, about Joglo Petani, the farmer Joglo, the Javanese traditional structure. And then in the 22nd, we will have Citragama Wali Ekarisuna and the constellation of Bertiang Tengah Mosque. Yeah. So we hope that you will tune in to these events as well, so we can, ask what Mr. Jimmy suggests today to explore more into our own culture. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next event. Oh yeah, let's have a picture together. Yeah.
Hey bro, let's go bro. Masih ada Pak? Ini Pak.
Ya.
Sudah. Tapi kita gantian ya bro. Let's go, masukin ya bro. Ayo. Masuk. Itu ya, tadi masuk dulu ya. I'll say hi later. Udah nggak apa-apa bro. Ya, let's go. Kami. Pulang. Naik. Wow. Udah, come on, let's go. Coming. Let's go. Coming. Guys. Masuk nggak? Yang lebar ya. 1, 2, 3. 1, 4. 2, 3. Masih nggak nih Pak? Tapi ya. Masuk dikit, maju dikit dong, mundur dikit, lagi deh. Nah gitu ya. 1, 2, 3. Oke. Thank you. Testimonial guys. Sudah diisi. Testimonial. Ayo belum? Ya itu ikut Pak Jimmy. Kenang-kenangan. Ayo sini. Ayo.
Teman-teman yang di Zoom, terima kasih ya sudah tune in juga. Semoga bermanfaat. Nanti kita edit lagi, semoga bisa nambahin foto-foto yang lebih jelas di YouTube. Nanti kita update lagi kalau udah di-upload. Terima kasih, saya tutup ya.